Good morning, everyone. Today is April the 21st, 2020. It's a little bit after 9 o'clock in the morning. We're here for Maryland Public Service Commission case number 9636 in the matter of the application of Baltimore Gas and Electric Company for a certificate of public convenience and necessity for the Five Forks to Maryland/Pennsylvania border transmission line reliability project. My name is Judge Grace. I am the public utility law judge who's assigned to this matter, and we're here on a virtual hearing for a pre-hearing conference this morning. Let's start with appearances. Baltimore Gas and Electric.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Daniel Herson representing Baltimore Gas and Electric Company. And I'd also like to enter the appearance of my colleague, Jessica Raba, who should be on the phone. She's on the audio link up.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Herson. PPRP.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sandra Simpson-McLemore, representing the Power Plant Research Program. I'd also like to enter the appearance of Steve Towson.
Thank you, Ms. McLemore. Office of People's Counsel.
Gary L. Alexander for the Office of People's Counsel.
Good morning, Mr. Alexander.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Let's finish with staff.
Good morning, Your Honor. Kenneth Albert on behalf of staff.
Okay, those are the parties. Do we have other folks on the call who are not parties who are here observing? Okay, thank you very much. Let's start with the Affidavit of Publication. Mr. Herson?
Yes, Your Honor. Yesterday, I have two housekeeping matters. The first one is yesterday we filed with the Commission the Certificate of Publication of the notice of this hearing, as well as notices that we placed on BGE.com, the BGE app, and BGE social media platforms. So if it's okay with Your Honor, we'd like to have those marked as BGE Exhibit 1 and entered into the evidentiary record if there's no objection.
They will be so marked without any objections from the parties. Okay, BGE Exhibit 1, the Affidavit of Publication is admitted.
Thank you. And then the second item I had was that pursuant to Public Utilities Article 7207C, BGE provided notices of the CPCN application filing to the requisite state and local government agencies and officials on February 21st, 2020 and March 12th, 2020. We can certainly file a certificate of compliance with the Commission if Your Honor so requests.
I would request you file that with the Commission just so I can check to make sure that all the parties have been notified.
Very good. We'll take care of that and get that filed as soon as we can.
Okay, Mr. Herson, if you'll make a note at a later hearing, we'll need to mark those and admit those.
Very good. I will.
Thank you. Is any party aware of any interveners in this matter? I see a lot of head shaking. Okay. Did the parties want to propose a specific procedural schedule?
Yes, Your Honor. We discussed in advance of this hearing, PPRP, OPC, staff, and BGE. We got together and conversed, and we put together a proposed procedural schedule. And obviously, it's subject to Your Honor's availability, but I can walk through that schedule now if that works for you.
That would be great. Thank you.
Okay, so we filed the CPCN application on February 21st, 2020. And the deadline for parties to intervene was April 17th, 2020. Of course, we're having this pre-hearing conference today, April 21st, 2020. We're proposing that PPRP and the other intervener parties' testimony be due on June 15th, 2020, and have BGE and other parties' rebuttal testimony due July 27th, 2020. An evening public hearing would take place sometime after June 15th, 2020, but before the surrebuttal is due. The surrebuttal testimony would be due August 17th, 2020. And we're proposing evidentiary hearings on 2 days, September 15th and 16th, 2020.
Okay.
That's the only dates we've agreed on at this point.
The dates work with my calendar. The hearing dates work with the Public Utility Law Judge calendar. My question is there a reason why the proposed evening public hearing is before rebuttal testimony?
This is Sandra Mac.
Yeah, Sandra would have to answer that question. That was her proposal, which we agreed to.
I'm sorry about that, Dan. I spoke over you. Yes, PPRP appreciates being able to hear what the public has to say after they file their initials, to be able to incorporate any questions or thoughts that we weren't aware of into our rebuttal.
Okay. As you know, the evening public hearings are twofold. They're both for the parties to hear from the public and also for us to give information to the parties.
Your Honor, I'm still having trouble with Sandra and also with you. Somebody must have not muted out. Can you try it again?
That was a court reporter talking. Just what I'm saying?
Actually, I'd like to hear what Sandra said because it was quite muffled at certain times while she was speaking.
Ms. McLemore, would you mind repeating yourself?
Of course. PPRP would prefer to have the surrebuttal or the supplemental testimony, sometimes we call it, after the public hearing, because that will provide us an opportunity to hear what the public has to say about our initial filing and incorporate any questions they may have or any other information that we need to provide the public into that last testimony before the evidentiary hearing.
Okay. My concern is the evening public hearings are the purposes are twofold. They're both for us, the parties, to hear from the public as to what their opinions are, and also for the public to hear from the parties. The reason for my question is if we have the evening public hearing prior to the surrebuttal testimony, then the parties, the public may not hear what the party's final position is. But what I'll do in this case is we'll schedule the evening public hearings for the week before the surrebuttal testimony is due. I'm sorry, Ms. Malcolm-Moore, that's going to scratch PPRP. But if the evening public hearings could be scheduled either Monday, August 10th, or Tuesday, August the 11th, then that would give PPRP a week to take into account those, and the other parties a week to take into account the comments that they may receive. But what I'll ask that the parties make a presentation as to their final position so that we can make sure that everyone is as up to date as possible at that time. Would that work for the parties?
Your Honor, this is Sandra McLemore. That would work. The other thing is sometimes I don't believe it will be an issue in this case, but in some cases, we have some additional time after the public hearing to modify our conditions, and that allows us an opportunity to put that into that testimony. But I think a week is sufficient in this case. I don't think we would have any problems with that, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right. With that change, I find the procedural schedule proposed by the parties acceptable. And would the parties like to address discovery procedures in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe we proposed that would be 10 business day response time up to and including the date that rebuttal testimony is due, which is July 27th. And thereafter, it would be a 5 business day response period.
That's fine with me. Will each of the parties go on speaker and let me know if you consent to this schedule?
Staff is okay with that schedule?
PPRP is good with that schedule, Your Honor.
OPC is good with that schedule, Your Honor.
And BGE is good with the schedule as stated by BGE, by Mr. Herson?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any other matters that we need to take up this morning?
I did not have anything else, Your Honor. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, everyone, for your consideration in this new platform. I don't see any reason why the procedural schedule won't be out this week. And just again, thank you for your patience. The hearing is concluded. We can go off the record.
We're off the record, Your Honor. Thank you.
I think it worked pretty